you had probably forgot. I mean, it's
and
pouring down rain.
So there's an Iron Creek and then there's a Long Creek, and we work rain or shine just without lightning. And I'll tell you, Herbert, we work.
As it does, and avoids us from having to get a new roof, a new foundation, and of course comes with those lifetime warranties. And I brought a lot of parts and pieces of the system, but I'll just go over the main ones for us today. So one of the best parts about Leafguard is that, and there's a transition lip as well for the system, is that it comes with a 180-degree transition in between the system itself and the fascia board. So this is an example of your new wood that you'll have for any areas that, again, to the human eye, it might, or the untrained eye, it might not seem as though there's areas that are rotted that are, but we just make sure even if we see premature wood rot that we replace it. Again, that's a free part of the project, just again to make sure we can uphold our warranties that we have. So that 180-degree transition allows for, again, no water to ever make contact with our new wrap and our new wood. And of course, with the Nye'scorner design and reverse curve technology, we don't see any water flowing over the front of the system either. So the front, back, everything is protected.
That baffles me. I don't know how that works.
Right.
Really?
Right.
I mean, it's pouring down so fast.
Right. So, and that's 32 inches of
how
rain.
Instead of it running off of this thing,
Right.
and going down to the ground, I don't see how.
Is that water falling over and then backward. So these brakes on the hood that don't take away at all from the look of the system are part of that magic and why the brakes are patented. The Nye'scorner design is what you can see here in these crimps. That's what's drawing water into the system. So where we saw gravity take its place and send water back this way and send over the glass like we were just doing at the sink, it's basic laws of physics. Instead, it's like interrupting that process. And so where gravity takes place, the brakes flatten it out and it allows for a process called liquid adhesion. So it's basically flattening water out so that that reverse curve can take place and draw water into the system. And again, it's something magical, and that's why Good Housekeeping backs us up. All of our warranties back us up because we know it's kind of incredible.
It is. That's one thing.
It's a get it and forget it system. No more
Yes.
contractors, no more. It's seriously awesome. And beyond that, of course, it does look like crown molding on the home. For myself, I do all the same color just to again add to that allure of the seamless transition, or the that seamless look of it and that crown molding look. Beyond that, of course, so we were talking about that Nye'scorner design. So 32 inches of water and 95% of debris. So of course, what happens to that other 5%? So it'll never sit in the system. It's typically going to be things small like the seeds and things like that. Like we said in the other systems, that when they land can lead to growing plants and trees in the gutter protection. But here, of course, if it can fit through this lip, it is definitely going to be vulnerable to our oversized big mouth adapter. So these are attached to our oversized downspout. So when it fits through here, this has like a flushing action. I won't take y'all to the toilet, but that's the principle that it works on. Is the same as your bathroom, the pipe in your bathroom.
Well, you don't have a hole in there to show you.
So right, and so the way that they're attached as well, of course, there's no gaps in it when they install it. So this opens up that bottom about 400% larger, and this downspout is as well, again, 30% thicker than other downspouts on the market, as well as wider than other downspouts on the market. But I'll get into that a little bit later. I'll go in order. So another part of the system as well is that we install our own flashing with it in addition to your new fascia wood and your aluminum wrap. So this is basically our patented again transition lip. So we install this under the starter strip and attach it here with our own transition lip. So that's again will assist in that process that we were talking about earlier. It ensures the total protection as well as everything going on behind the house. Another patent component of the system. See what time it is. So we talked about the Nye'scorner design, so it's protecting you against the pine needles, leaves, and seeds. What they like to say is a get it and forget it, like I was saying, because the system gives you that peace of mind, unlike all the other systems out there, of course. And I talked about it being the thickest material and how we warehouse our own product. It's also dent resistant, and it's built to last, and that's why we do have that no dent, no clog, no pull away, no detachment, and lifetime paint warranty as well. And that's again for the lifetime of the home itself. So your home becomes our customer forever, in other words. You can see here how it doesn't sag and how it has that structural integrity, because I think there's about 5 or 6 guys on this 240-foot run, and you can see how far apart they are from each other. So really, ideally, this guy with its scratch guard finish too could quite literally drop it and they could drag it all the way. You won't see it crimping and folding or scratching as they did so. That's just another awesome part of the system. So those crimps in the front as well serve as another way to protect against any icing. So more so for our northern markets, this is important, but the fact that this could hold what's equivalent to 5 stories of icicle, which again we don't see, but it's just nice to know that when we do ice, and we do have that, the ice can never deform our system, and the fact that we are pulling in that 32 inches of rain per hour means that there's no opportunity for it to sit there and ice over in the first place. It's flushing right down our oversized downspouts, or big mouth adapter into the downspouts, and then of course to the splash blocks that we install along every downspout. The inside as well, something as well that no other gutter protection company does, is coated specifically for a positive water flow. So that's another thing that, again, doesn't take away. In fact, it kind of adds to the aesthetic of the system. And this part of the system isn't patented, but I just think it's kind of awesome that the way it's been coated allows, again, for that positive water flow. So a huge part as well are the bracketing on these other systems. They're heavy and they fall off like we saw in our system there. So we use a super lightweight ABS bracket that has tremendous strength. So this thing can hold up, so this, I don't know if I mentioned, but that crimp alone can hold up to 25 pounds on the lip. This guy can hold 250 pounds, but we still install them in 2-foot sections to ensure, again, that no pull away, no detachment. These guys basically work on a principle of an arch. The best way, if you put your hand up, I'll show you. So basically, the more pressure you impose on the bracket, the more it's making it flush taut against your home. So that's basically how we're, again, to ensure that warranty there. Beyond that, the fact that they are ABS, we're not seeing them rust or corrode throughout time. And the way that they're placed inside the system that you can kind of see here, it's above the water line. So even if you were to stand outside trying to stuff stuff inside the Leafguard system to clog it by yourself all day long, water quite literally never has an opportunity to flow backward because of where they're placed. If you're trying to force stuff in there, it's going to always come out the front, which I don't recommend just to see that happen. But that is something that's really nice. And we kind of just went over all of that in short, so I'll just skip that there. So like I said, so if anything's making its way through this little lip here, in terms of debris, because we do ensure, of course, that with the Nye'scorner design that just 95% of debris goes over the top. So to account for that 5%, of course, I always have to mention the fact that, again, with this vortex and the flushing action that it works on, again, the same principle of a toilet, if it can make its way through there, it's never sitting in there, it's flushing right down. And the drain defenders are an added feature of the system as well, so that you can see that. So you'll never see debris in these guys. So obviously there's no need to get on a ladder anymore. These were added to, again, add to that peace of mind. They come with a little door to just, add to the aesthetic of the system. But looking in here, you'll also be able to see, so the areas where you might see moss and things like that behind in the foundation throughout time, because it's organic matter. It's awesome because natural processes take place and it just breaks right down. So that's basically an awesome part of that as well. And I will touch on these downspouts really quickly because, again, they set us apart from all the others. So beyond the fact that we use a special paint finish that's basically treated like a fine carb finish, so rolling on a primer polymer coat, baking that in the oven, and then rolling on a fine polymer coat on top of that primer coat, and again, baking it in the oven. And so that's why we can't have the scratch guard. The typical is a spray coating, and this one's been split on purpose because it simulates what happens when that water freezes and it's clogged, and it causes them to burst apart in this way, and that's why we see that. And of course, where we saw the patching on ours, that's why we see that happening as well, where it's just another access point for leaking. Now ours, of course, 30% thicker. They're double crimped on the outside, and there's a spot crimp on the inside as well, including that coating on the inside that allows for positive water flow. So super awesome. It can withstand all weather, all year round, basically. And again, these come with their own warranty as well. And again, for the lifetime of the home. And we spoke about the drain defender already and the big mouth adapter. What's really unique as well that is involved in our proposal specifically is an inline valley hood. So when we have areas on the home like we have in front here, instead of putting like a run of gutter and then a downspout where that water, earlier where we were talking about where it's just a little hole and it's just adding to how it's just overflowing right here in the front, there's no downspout because there wouldn't be a way to place one there. We use an inline valley hood, and I'll be able to show a photo of that here at the end more so, but basically it just looks like a little cheese grater at the top, so it's just like the Leafguard system, and that allows for us to catch all that water, and it's again operating on this same principle, except you're not having to put a run of gutter that doesn't have a downspout on it, basically, because that makes no sense like that person did. I will just touch on the fact that those warranties, of course, include that from Lending Tree. Lending Tree gave us the value, that 83% that I mentioned earlier. So straight from Lending Tree, that it adds that 83% return on investment to your home. So $10,000 project, that's immediately $8,300 right back in your pocket. And that is, again, per Lending Tree. And of course, I talked about already measurements. I took measurements today while I did your assessment, but they, of course, come behind me and do their own. And it's all done within the same day. So typically we can insure next day or 2 days out from today.
But they could up it another $1,000.
No. So the only thing that happens is they come and they inspect that wood, which again is included. They replace that wood. They spit it out to the exact measurements of your home, and it's done within the same day that the project is started. And typically we can ensure that we start the project the next day or within 2 days.
So you take it all down, put all new up in 1 day.
New wood, new wrap, then a complete system, downspouts, concrete splash blocks, drain defenders, down everything.
Now where's the water gonna go when it comes down?
The water won't come down. That's the great thing. So the water, oh, you mean down the downspouts?
Right.
That's what the splash block does. And so there's also a black pipe extension on your system, and that was for over here. I didn't take time when I was rushing past to explain, but that basically will run off into a splash block. So it basically keeps it from, the splash block is what keeps that water from traveling up once it makes its way down the downspout, basically. So it acts as like an extension. The system's an extension of your roof, and the splash block is an extension of your foundation. So that's why we can ensure also what we do about it making the matter that's currently traveled up through those cracks break down throughout time, because they'll be in a drought. There won't be any water connecting with them.
Well, do you need to do anything else? I mean, run a credit report, all that stuff?
I just need 2 forms of ID to see if you said that we will, I'm sure that we are eligible for the Synchrony interest-free program. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get you a date. And I'll also have you sign the proposal as well, what I designed. And then we're ready to go. It's actually pretty simple.
Oh, well, yeah, to you, it's pretty simple. I mean, you know.
That's who you'll be, that's someone whose number that I give you as well to be in contact with as well. And so, of course, like we have our...
Adam Williams.
Right. And so I didn't mention, obviously, we have the amazing in-house warranties as well as the third-party warranty. But there's also a 2-year end-to-end cap warranty in-house, meaning that anything that we didn't mention, and like just if anything crazy were to happen, is also included for 2 years. Basically, just to cover all bases, and so that's who you'd call for that end-to-end cap.
So this Leafguard's only guaranteed for how long?
For a lifetime. And so all of the warranties are for the lifetime of the home. So as long as, and so exactly, so it's really nice. It's really nice and unmatched. Now the paint finish warranty is a 50-year paint finish warranty. It's a scratch guard, dent resistant paint. And I told you about, it's like a fine car finish the way they do it, so you won't really, I said, I'm just gonna bring the paper one in to save you going through all those again. And that one, of course, is for your records.
Okay.
Sign a piece of paper, but this is actually fine as far as what we needed. And basically this as well, once it goes back on,
Did you take a picture of that one?
Yes, sir, I did.
And how about, what is this one?
And this is your copy of that Synchrony sales slip. So it again gives those details that it is 18 months interest free, but that deferred interest skyrockets up after 18 months to the Leafguard family. I'm gonna put it on speaker so you don't have to put your ear on it.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you.
Thank you for the hospitality today.